What? They are? That is the grim reality. And at the heart of it is the reformist faction. Led by the Chancellor, they seek to create a new centralized authoritarian government. Opposing them is the noble faction, led by the Empire's most prestigious houses. Together, they strive to maintain the status quo. The action of these two groups are sending the Empire tumbling toward an unavoidable conflict. The reformists versus the nobles. I'd heard of the political strife in the Empire, but I had no idea things had gotten so dire. If I may ask, are we to presume that your Highness's position in this conflict is neutral, then? Not quite. Rather, I seek to open a third path. Though I do find it places me between the proverbial hammer and anvil. Each faction sees me as a fly on the wall worth swatting. It's hard to disagree. But if tensions between the sides have gotten to the point where civil war is looming on the horizon, then that makes the trade conference the perfect opportunity to strike. Oh no. Now I see where this is going. It's as you fear. We believe the noble faction's leader, Duke Cayenne, has taken action. He likely plans to send a terrorist force to Crossbell, one whose sights are set on taking Chancellor Osborne's life at the conference. Not assassins, but terrorists? The Chancellor has incurred the wrath of far more than just the noble faction. Numerous victims of his oppression, both in and outside the country, have joined forces as a terrorist organization. And the evidence suggests that the noble faction has been the one funding them. So that's what's up. I'm still stuck on the terrorists are banding together to fight the bad guy. Kind of goes against the idea of terrorist in my mind, but sure. They're looking to bury their greatest political threat without dirtying their own hands. But if they succeeded, wouldn't that be problematic outside of the Empire too? Problematic doesn't begin to cover it. It'd be a disaster for Crossbell. Can you imagine the political ramifications we'd face if the Imperial Chancellor were assassinated at our own trade conference? Sorry about that. Don't be. You're absolutely right. At the very least, the Empire would impose unthinkable reparations on Crossbell for having failed to protect its Chancellor. Ironic, seeing as the ones responsible for his death would be Erebonians themselves. I can't believe this. No wonder he hired the Red Constellation. It'd be awful, but not unexpected. It's characteristic of diplomacy, if anything. You can say that again. That's not all. A similar conflict is written on the walls of the Republic of Calvard as well. What? Is that true? Yulia, if you would, please. Yes. The Republican government's representative, President Samuel Rocksmith. Does someone hold a grudge against him too? Not against him specifically, but more so against Calvard's long history as the melting pot of Western Zemuria. Its acceptance of various cultures from across the continent is the main contributor to their diversity, as well as their particular brand of political strife. Xenophobia, to be specific. That's terrible. As I'm sure you're aware, Calvard has always accepted immigrants from the East. When the country democratized, the flow of expatriates into the country increased, and the Eastern Quarter was founded. Naturally, there has always been Calbardians who stand opposed to the Republic's immigration policies. You mean the anti-immigration faction, correct? I hear their movement has been gaining more and more traction in recent times. Does that mean radical nationalists are targeting the president? Indeed it does. And like the Erebonian terrorists, they seem to be just as well funded. I recently received intel that the nationalists have supplied a Calvardian terrorist organization with arms. Said terrorists are now mobilizing. That ain't good. I think we have the gist of things now. But I have to ask, why confide in the SSS about something so far-reaching? Yeah, I really feel like this is a conversation Bales should have been here for. And probably Dudley as well. Wouldn't it be more appropriate to contact the Crossbell government directly? Even if they wanted to, some of this information couldn't be disclosed to a foreign government. Isn't that right? It's just as Ellie says. Chancellor Osborne and President Rocksmith are both shrewd men. They're undoubtedly well aware of the forces that are targeting their lives. Despite that, they have chosen to keep from the Crossbell governments. We don't know what would motivate the two of them to remain quiet about the situation. However, given their decisions, we're in no position to leak confidential state affairs of either government directly to Crossbell. And though I am a member of the Imperial family, I am forbidden from interfering with the policies of our government to begin with. My hands tied, I suggested to the Crown Princess that she call you here. So that's why. In other words, everything we've talked about this evening has been strictly off the record. It's been a friendly chat over tea, you could say. No formal discussion has taken place tonight in the least. Where's my tea? Could have at least given me tea. Of course, we could hardly stop you from spreading any unsubstantiated rumors, if you so chose. Ah, I see. We'll take that to heart. Man, you guys are a real couple of wild cards. Rather wily for a prim and proper princess, aren't you? Easy, you're talking to royalty. Show some respect. Oh, that's quite all right. There's no denying that the situation in Crossbell is growing more unstable by the day. So in order to try and improve things where we could, we thought it necessary to bend the rules a touch. Running counter to us, however, is a thorn in our side. Two thorns, in fact. Each one revising the script from behind the scenes. And that called for making use of our dear Estelle's connections. Thorns? I believe you've already met them. Lecter Arundel and Kilika Vorin. Yes, we have. That must be the reason the Crossbell government doesn't know any of this. Precisely. They're manipulating the flow of information. In Miss Vorin's case, she was once a receptionist for the Bracer Guild. Her insight is so keen that it borders on clairvoyance. Kilika Doobie Vorin, oh my gosh. Moriaris, what have you done? Controlling information is simply for an emissary as talented as her. Yeah, that lines up with what we heard about her from the guilds too. She's been an ally up to now, but she'd be as scary as she is pretty if we had to go against her. As for Lecter Arundel, his full career history and background are unknown. But one thing is for certain. He belongs to a group known as the Iron Bloods. Iron Bloods? What is it with Erebonians and their love of iron? And blood? Let me guess. They report directly to the Blood and Iron Chancellor, don't they? You blame Randy. That's fair. Yes, they're hand-picked proteges, groomed by the Chancellor to be more precise. They're each frighteningly competent, though at the same time quite different from one another. The noble faction has, without a doubt, been keeping a close watch on them. The Iron Bloods. We already considered Lecter dangerous enough as a member of the Intelligence Division. I don't know what you're talking about. Lecter is fantastic, Ellie. As if that weren't enough, we've also Heiyu and the Red Constellation's presence in Crossbell to consider. Each has ties to their respective major powers' governments, so I wouldn't expect either to target the trade conference. That being said, we've detected suspicious activity within each group since our arrival. Perhaps the five of you know something about that. I mean, I know about the Red Constellation, but I don't know anything about what Heiyu's doing. We do. Fair's fair. We'll fill you in on everything we know about that at the moment. Lloyd and the others outlined the recent actions of the Red Constellation and Heiyu. That helped paint a clearer picture. Yes, my concern for the most part lies with this so-called assassin Yin. That's what you're gonna focus on? At the very least, I don't think you have to worry about him targeting the Chancellor or myself. This also corroborates what I know of the Red Constellation. They're dreadfully belligerent, even for a Jaeger Corps. I can't imagine they'd want to target me either. The way I refuse escort and protection must make me as fun as fishing in a barrel to them. Maybe. Maybe not. If anything, I think having the Major tag along would make a few of them come out to play. I could see him wanting to pick a fight for fun. Please. I'm only a single soldier. I couldn't entertain a few and hope to win. But regardless, the best we can do for the time being is prepare for the worst. I must agree. Thank you, everyone. Your appraisal has been much appreciated. We will make certain to prepare accordingly on our end as well. Wow, reading is hard. You like how we've known the Red Constellation for like a fraction of how long we've known Heiyu, but we know more about them. Yeah. One is kind of like a blunt hammer, and then the other one is just like a dagger in the shadows. The pleasure was all ours. The information you provided us has been invaluable. Yes. We couldn't be more grateful. Here's to a beautiful new partnership, special support section. And to commemorate the occasion, I think this calls for hitting up Crossbell's famous nightlife. You can show your thanks by showing me around. What do you say, Randy? Wazy? I take it you know just the right places. Oh, now you're speaking my language. You want to take him for a night out on the town. Bless your soul. Sure, I could take you to a few of my favorite places. Then it's decided. My dear Bueller, cancel my dinner plans and not on your life, you simpleton. Don't forget, you're expected to attend the Arc-en-Ciel performance with the rest of the dignitaries. Suppose you're right. Well, I did want to see Arc-en-Ciel for myself at least once in my life. Don't worry. I think you'll still have a good time. That's right. It'll be a show to remember, I'm sure. I've been rather looking forward to it myself. In the meantime, we will get in touch with you should we run into any new developments. And next time, I'll be sure to do so directly rather than relying on Sieg's services. Bird. Right, thank you. Yeah, warn a guy next time you want to stick a pile of claws and feathers at him. But Bird. So terrorists are taking aim at 2 of the dignitaries. Dang, I knew there was a possibility, but to think it actually happened— oh hey Dudley. What in the heck are Ereboni and Calvard thinking? Bold of you to assume they're thinking. Should be safe to assume they've got some sort of plan. We'd better inform Mayor Croyce and the CGF too. If you want peace, prepare for war. Oh my gosh. You're not wrong though. Yeah. Right. I'll just leave that to you. At any rate, I couldn't believe my ears when I heard that you'd boarded the Arce. Normally, 2 world leaders requesting a direct audience with any of us would be unimaginable. I'm guessing the First Division has been keeping tabs on them, then. It was pretty sudden for us too, you know. It's not our fault we're so popular. Sudden or not, you still should have consulted your superiors before accepting the invitation. Expecting these kids to do things by the book was your first mistake. Sergei understands me. Their messenger was out of the ordinary anyway. I think they handled it just fine. Man, though, those 2 weren't like any prince or princess I've ever heard of. Especially that Olivert guy. He's got more than a few screws loose by my count. He's still a prince, Randy. Show some respect. I'd say he was chipper, not to mention witty. I don't know that those are words that I would use to describe him, but sure. Plus, I'd say he seemed pretty versed in the ways of the world. The major he had accompanying him seemed highly skilled himself. Not only that, Princess Claudia and Senior Captain Schwartz were just stunning. The princess was so refined and cordial, and the senior captain was the very picture of dignity. She even had the grace to grant you that autograph for your sister, I gather. How'd you know? Good grief, people. Never mind. Even just confirming that we have hostiles out there is a win in my book. It'd be a smart idea to rearrange tomorrow's security assignments to account for this. Their most opportune moment to strike would be while the conference is in session. Yeah, the dignitaries are all scheduled to return to their home countries the following afternoon. If something's going to happen, it's bound to go down in the next 24 hours. Is this going to be like a repeat of The Longest Day? The main session is scheduled to take place around noon, correct? Right. At 1 p.m., it's being held in the International Conference Room on the 35th floor of Orcus Tower. 1 p.m., 35th floor. It'll go all the way until evening, with 1 break scheduled in the middle. So all we need to do is protect our bigwig VIPs throughout the conference, yeah? Actually, we already planned to have a comprehensive security detail deployed inside Orcus Tower. The building itself has its own security protocols in place as well, so on-site safety shouldn't be an issue. On top of that, Arios is going to be stationed directly in the conference hall. He'll be representing the guild as a mediator, so that should indirectly bolster our security. That's good to know. In that case, security is going to be most vulnerable before and after the conference. For instance, a sniper could make their move just as a dignitary exits the tower. That's been my concern, to be honest. Hey, Lloyd. Oh, it's the grumpy old guy. As undisciplined as ever, isn't she? You're just upset that you're old. Please excuse her. Yeah, you remember Detective Dudley, don't you? Yup, hiya Doodles. Long time no see. How have you been? Look at that smile. He loves the child. First Division detectives are always in peak condition. Wait a second. What in the world did you just call me? Oh, you don't like it? Oh, how about Grandpa Dudley? That's just calling me old again. Easy now. Come on, put yourself in her shoes. You're practically ancient compared to her. She's practically ancient compared to him. Now we need Randy to start calling him Doodles. I would love that. So, Kia, what do you need from us? Oh, right. There's a call waiting for you guys. Someone's calling us? That's odd. I don't recall hearing the phone ring. Oh, not the normal phone, the one with the faces. Oh, you mean the terminal. You've really gotten a handle on that thing, Kia. Is it Teotot then? She's called him the evening before, right? Nope. It's some boy with freckles. Jona? He's getting all huffy and puffy about something. Oh, right, because Campanella broke into his computer and he was alerted. Took you long enough. Ooh, does this mean I'm gonna get to go into the Geofront and more importantly get that treasure chest? How long were you planning to make me wait? Sorry about that. Anyway, it's been a while. How are you doing? Save your small talk. I've got a super urgent favor to ask you. Can you guys go check my base? Huh? Your base? Do you mean that room you were staying in? Yeah. The one with control terminal 8 down in the Geofront's B sector. Some jerkwad's been using it for the last 2 days. Oh, they're gonna pay for this. You mean it got hijacked? How can you even tell? Hold the phone, Jonestar. I don't remember your name being on that terminal either. That's besides the point. Look, I put up some pretty beefy defenses on the thing before I left. If it ever gets breached, it's set to notify me while I'm doing remote connection tests on the Orbital network. And guess what? It notified me about today, a breach. So that's how. In other words, someone managed to gain access to the terminal even with your beefy defenses. Do I have that right? Exactly. They've got to be a master hacker. Anyway, I need you guys to catch him and get them the heck away from my stuff. Man, what are we? His personal errand boys? Way I see it, the kid got a taste of his own medicine. Brandy's not wrong. But if he's right about this being the work of a master hacker, that's troublesome in its own right. Yeah, Ren's gone, and I strongly doubt it's Chief Roberts. We'll go investigate, so contact us later. Good. Make it snappy. What a rude child. What, you're really gonna go check it out? Yeah, just in case. I could even do it myself if you guys would rather stay here and rest. No, I do not want to do this solo. My team had better come with me. Come on. Who do you think we are? That's right. There's no telling who could be waiting there. It may be more than just a simple hacker. We've got your back. Hold it. I'll tag along too. You will? Oh? And where's this change of heart coming from? I'm only doing this to cover all our bases before the trade conference. I can't overlook a deviant act like this. I think Dudley used Jona as an informant after they were introduced. Time is of the essence. Let's move. Understood. So they would have access then to anything that Dudley had asked Jona to look into. Sounds like we're about to have ourselves a post-dinner workout. We'll just be going now, Chief. Be good, Kia. Sure. Be careful out there. Go get him, guys. Detective Dudley has joined the party. You can add him to the active party in the tactics menu. You best believe I'm adding Dudley to the party. That is not the button I wanted.